More than 100 businesses stand in downtown Greensboro. We're talking about restaurants, retailers, hair salons, and so much more. And as you can see, the majority of those restaurants are boarded up to prevent the possibility of vandalism. And take a look right here. Those boarded up walls, well, they're now becoming murals to honor the life of George Floyd. Deputies are surrounding a house right here on Braddock Road in High Point. I want to step out of the way to give you a live look at the scene. Here's a guardrail that is down, and as you can see, it is damaged. And then if you take a look right over here, you can see a huge part of the tractor trailer that's still left behind from the mess. And then taking a look behind me, you'll see boxes of cigarettes that landed in Tom's Creek. Well, you know what I can tell you, that it's been a long morning and it's going to be a long day as Guilford County educators have finally made it here to downtown Raleigh. The Confederate monument is no longer standing here at the corner of Liberty and 4th Street in downtown Winston-Salem. I mean, take a look for yourself. As you can see, it is gone. SBI, they are investigating a deputy-involved shooting. We know that it happened just before midnight at a house right here on Zelma Avenue. Why is the pool not drained or covered up? Ma'am, excuse me. I'm Kandace with meteorologist Taran Kirksey. Thank you so much for joining us. Taran, let's go ahead and talk about the weather. How's it look this morning? All right, well, let's get to the top trending story online. Now, here is an example of what you should never do on the road. Now, police say a man was live streaming himself while driving, get this, over 100 miles per hour. At this time, we have no information indicating a specific credible threat to the homeland. Well, that's some important information for us to note, but still, Governor Roy Cooper, he wants you to think before you click, and that's exactly why I want to get over to Bryce Porter with UNCG. Bryce, what should people at home know when it comes to cyber security? This man lost his mother-in-law to coronavirus. Well, COVID-19 has killed more than 1,000 people in North Carolina so far. The overwhelming majority over the age of 75. Well, more than half of the deaths happened in nursing homes. Troopers are urging teen drivers to be safe on the road. Taking a look at the numbers, you can see that AAA says that there were more than 10,000 car crashes involving teens.
And now you're the winner. You can disengage, strike, or whatever.
We have been talking about how to get rid of summer stress. Okay. I literally have broken so many different things in this room to ensure that the package ends up in the right hands. And as I wrap up my report, again, you just want to make sure that you protect your packages. Oh, okay. From being stolen. I'm going to take this plate.
No, you're not going to take this one.
I'm going to take this one
no,
too.
You got to take this one.
And I'm about to just, obviously, since I'm at the court, you're going to, of course, see me shoot a hoop. Kobe, let's get up in, okay. Shaq. All right, okay, that didn't work. Steph Curry with the shot, all right. A day of action. A sea of red marched on the grounds of the North Carolina Association of Educators headquarters towards the General Assembly in downtown Raleigh.
Somebody has to do it, and if we don't do it, nobody else is gonna do it for the kids. We are their voice.
For the second year in a row, thousands of teachers from across the state rallied to push lawmakers to fully fund public schools.
Just as we teach our kids to be advocates, we need to be advocates ourselves.
They've got to listen to us. And if they don't, then we know what other avenues to take come voting time.
The top 5 demands are clear, with another concern being safety.
It's important for all of us to support public education. We certainly have to support safety in our schools. We have to demand it.
More than 1,300 educators with Guilford County Schools backed the list of NCAE demands. Teachers boarded buses from Greensboro to the capital city to make their voices heard.
We see our students daily. We know what they're facing, and we know what they're going to have to face later.
We have to stand up to the political boardrooms and the bureaucrats here in North Carolina and say, enough is enough.
It only takes a matter of seconds.
Be sure you keep an eye on them while they're swimming.
The American Red Cross says a child or weak swimmer can drown in the time it takes to reply to a text, check a fishing line, or apply sunscreen.
Learn how to swim.
Safety experts say swim lessons are one of the best ways to reduce the risk of drowning.
If you have children, either teach them how to swim yourself or take them and sign them up for swimming lessons.
Drowning is one of the top causes of death for children. New guidance says swim lessons can help children after age 1. And if you happen to have a pool at home, it should be surrounded by a 4-foot fence and a locked gate.
Make sure your children and any friends that they have over ask your permission before they go get in the pool.
Keep in mind, drowning can happen to anyone, anywhere there's water. That includes pools, hot tubs, the beach, lakes, streams, and even bathtubs. If you plan on beating the heat this spring by taking a dip in the pool,
Always have a buddy with you, even if you're an adult, having a buddy with you, because anything could happen at any time.
Governor Phil Bryant honored NFL legend and Mississippi native Jerry Rice Friday.
I want to thank everybody for this honor.
Listen to these numbers. 1,549 receptions, over 1,500 receptions, 22,895 receiving yards, and 197 receiving touchdowns.
Some say Rice is the best to have ever played the game. We asked Rice who he thought the best player was. Who do you consider to be the best NFL player right now?
Jerry Rice. I would have to say Jim Brown. I mean, what he was able to do in a very short amount of time. And whenever I'm in his presence, you know, I just feel like this guy's just amazing. So I would have to say Jim Brown.
As for current players, Rice is pretty high on former MSU star Dak Prescott. Would you want a chance to play with Dak Prescott?
My God, he is awesome. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's playing with a lot of confidence. You can tell he has complete control of the huddle. The players, you know, they feed off him, and I think he's going to be around a long, long time.
Jerry Rice grew up in Crawford, Mississippi, and played at Mississippi Valley State before getting drafted by the San Francisco 49ers in the first round. Now, he won 3 Super Bowls with them, taking home the MVP in Super Bowl 23, setting the record for most receiving yards in the big game. We asked him about his former team's backup QB Colin Kaepernick's anthem protest.
I think he did a great job of bringing recognition to certain things that we really need to be talking about in America. I have always stood for the national anthem and for the soldiers and our forefathers that gave us the opportunity, you know, to be free.
But Friday was all about honoring the man some call the greatest of all time, Jerry Rice. More than 2,300 women took a step to fight cancer on Saturday.
It's amazing, the support that you see, pink everywhere.
The Women's Only raised nearly $92,000 to help women in the triad detect breast cancer and receive support during treatment.
I was 33. I found a lump in my breast, went to the doctor, got my tests, came back cancerous.
Sarah Rich celebrated life at the event. She will be a 1-year cancer survivor next month.
I'm actually stage 3 on the border of stage 4. So being cancer-free is, you're never really cancer-free with that stage, but I just live every day as best I can.
God has blessed me to live another 8 years.
Teresa Henry showed up with a heart filled with thankfulness. She's participated in the 5K walk and run 8 times.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer. It was a traumatic experience, but he gave me 8 years more, so I am so thankful.
Cancer made me see everything differently, made me see life differently. Once you're faced with death, you see everything differently.